Alex Balekian,
Yes.
I'm so grateful to you for your time, and I'm honored to have an interview with you. But as I just said, let's just have a conversation.
Of course.
Okay? I'm your potential voter, and you're the congressman who will improve my life to the better.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. The first question is, how can I call you? Dr. Balekian, Mr. Balekian,
Call me Alex.
or simply
So
Alex?
you're
Well,
Eugeniia. I'm
yes.
Alex.
Thank you.
Even in the hospital, so I'm a physician, as you
Yeah.
know. I every time I introduce myself to patients, I say, "Hi, I'm Dr. Balekian." Nobody remembers that name. Call me Alex.
Yeah.
And then they just like, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't remember it." So yes, you call me Alex. I have everybody call me Alex.
Now I feel even like more safe. You know what I mean? Because like Dr. Balekian, and I feel like I have to sit like that, you know, and it has to be like a super serious conversation between two people. All right, you have a very interesting journey, an extremely interesting journey, from a doctor to a politician.
Yes.
How did it all start?
Well, I want to make a slight correction. So this is not a midlife career change for me.
Okay.
I am still a practicing physician. In fact, I can see my hospital, one of the hospitals where I work from here.
Oh, and you live in Glendale.
I live in Glendale. I'm born and raised in Glendale. So I am still a practicing physician, and this is not a career change for me. I'm doing this because we need better public safety. A lot of people are sick of how dangerous the streets have become. I am one of those people. I reached my breaking point. So I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue working as a physician while I am in Congress. So this is not a career change. This is a crusade that I feel is worthy, because it's not just me, it's a lot of people who are complaining that life is no longer safe.
Yeah, yes. And Alex, how are you going to balance it? Do you already have a plan?
To be honest, it's been difficult. It's not impossible. So what I tell people is politics is not difficult, it's just time consuming. The people who do politics, they're not somehow Nobel Prize winning, intelligent individuals. But it is very time consuming, especially for somebody who is new, who is not in that system. But you know, I'm an intensive care doctor, and I am used to being exhausted. I am used to working, and then when you want to sleep, you have that 2 a.m. telephone call that a patient is sick, and you must, you know, take that phone call. So we've been juggling it, and I have been very fortunate, very blessed that I have an amazing team that has been helping me with marketing, with running the campaign. So this is definitely, I've been successful because I have an amazing team.
Teamwork is everything.
Yes.
I agree. And I like what you said, public safety. You know, I'm an expat. I came from Ukraine 6 years ago here to California, and I don't feel safe. And today I'm going to be the voice of people who came from Ukraine, Moldova, Russia, Kazakhstan, even Armenia. When I have the conversations with my friends, we have the common idea that it's not safe to live in Los Angeles. We are talking about homeless people, we are talking about drug addicts, and plus public transportation. Have you ever taken the bus here in LA?
Not by choice, because it's like the Hunger Games. You're risking your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's not even funny, because before coming to the US, I lived in Poland. Beautiful country, beautiful public transportation. I expected the same from LA, and especially when you watch the movies, you know, you know, expectations vs reality. So let's talk about public safety for a bit. Okay, what is your agenda? What are your thoughts?
So my agenda, again, we need better public safety. So I have some concrete ways that I will make people more safe, that I will improve public safety. First of all, George Gascon. So everybody now in Los Angeles knows George Gascon, and not for good reason. So George Gascon is our district attorney, who is not prosecuting criminals when they do things. So there are smash and grabs, there are home invasion robberies, there are small businesses that are being robbed. The police catch the criminals, they release them the same day, because the district attorney is not going to file charges, because we have this restorative justice, social justice agenda. Right now, he is trying to get reelected, and we are hoping that his opponent, Nathan Hawkman, gets elected instead. However, if George Gascon gets elected again for 4 more years, we shouldn't lose hope. What I will do from Congress is I will make a smash and grab a federal crime. So if you are a small business owner and somebody comes and steals from your store, and the police catch the crook If George Gascon doesn't want to prosecute that person, you can use my law to call the FBI, to call the Department of Justice so that you can get your justice. So that's number one.
Wow.
Number two, the homelessness problem. It's a big problem. They are a danger not only to themselves, but also to other people. For example, our public transit is not public transit. It's a mobile mental hospital.
Exactly.
Okay? It's a mobile mental hospital. So we have wasted, our politicians have wasted $26 billion. More housing, more housing, more housing. These people can't take care of themselves. How are they going to take care of a home? So I, as a physician, I am uniquely qualified to say it's not a housing issue, it's a mental health and drug addiction issue.
Exactly, yeah.
And we need to reopen the federal hospitals, the mental hospitals, get these very severely mentally ill people in the hospitals, get them on their medicines, get them better. Ask them, where is your family? 40% of California homeless, their family is not in the state, it's from out of state.
Yeah.
And we know from the medical literature that when your family is involved in your mental health care, when your family is involved in your drug rehab, you have better outcomes, better results than if your family wasn't involved. So I, from Congress, as a physician and also as a federally elected official, I can move people across state lines. I can give federal dollars to their home states so that they can establish drug treatment programs, they can establish mental health care by their families, okay? And I can justify this not because I want to be mean and deport them out of the state. No, we know the medical literature says that you get better outcomes when they are close to their family. Finally, drugs, okay? Not only for the homeless people, because the homeless people, we can't expect them to remain sober if the drugs keep coming onto the streets. And you were mentioning about one of your friends that you knew, or somebody that you knew from Ukraine. But also, in 2022, every day there were 3 high school students who were dying because of an accidental overdose because they took counterfeit pills that they didn't know had fentanyl in them, right? So this is not only to protect the homeless, this is also to protect high school students. Every week there is one classroom full of students who die because they're taking pills at a party that they don't know have fentanyl. They go to sleep and they die in their sleep. So how are we going to do that? Fund the police, fund Customs and Border Protection, catch the drugs that are coming in through the border, stop the flow of drugs. So those are 3 ways of making the federal law against the smash and grabs, treating the homeless by opening up more mental health, and also stopping the fentanyl and the other drugs from coming at the border. Those are 3 concrete ways that I will improve people's public safety.
Wow, I got the goosebumps, honestly, Alex. And in terms of the homeless people, as I've told you, I've shared the personal story of mine, that I grew up with a friend of mine in Ukraine, and he was coming from a good family, and then he immigrated to the US and he started taking drugs. That's what you've mentioned about the drugs. And then he became homeless, and I was so helpless. I didn't know how to help him. And what would you say, how to encourage those homeless people, like, to take care of themselves, or like to change their lives to the better, like to go to the shelter or to go to the sober living, etc., etc. How? Like, it's a big question. How?
If you ever talk to people who've had drug problems, everybody says that they hit rock bottom, and that's what wakes them up. Everybody has a different point where they hit rock bottom. You cannot control that. Some people like Robert Downey Jr., for example, right? Got arrested, went to jail. So that was his rock bottom. And then he woke up and, he was able to quit drugs. So no single solution is going to work for everybody. But what I want to do is say, okay, let's stop the flow of drugs coming in. Let's increase penalties for drug dealers. Let's make very, very stiff penalties for drug dealers, not for drug users, right? Don't punish the user, punish the dealer. And then hopefully these people won't relapse often, or they'll hit rock bottom, however they're going to hit it, but they won't accidentally overdose, something like that. But every person is going to come to their moment on their own terms. Hopefully they don't, like I said, hurt themselves or hurt somebody in the process and end up going to jail because of that. But what I would do is stop the drugs with a stronger border policy, and also people who are dealing drugs, come down hard on them.
Yeah, for me, it hurts me a lot because I love people and I have so much love for people and humanity. Yeah, and there's so many like talented and creative and wonderful people who can benefit to this planet Earth. You know what I mean? And it makes me so upset when I see them ending up on the streets. So yeah, I have a big hope on you, Alex. Okay?
Thank you, Eugeniia.
Yes. Oh, it's a very personal like topic for me. He committed to suicide and it was like in May. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, try to get them to stop it before they hurt themselves or they hurt others.
And they hurt others emotionally, you know, because I'm still crying.
Did his did his parents come with him, or he came by himself?
No, he came with his mom, and his mom got married, like like normal family. You know? Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It is. Yeah. I feel like it's your superpower that you're a doctor.
Yep.
You know, a doctor and a politician. Like it's a superpower and a super combination. Alex, how do you think your medical background will shape your approach to public policy addressing mental health issues in California?
So my background will help me in several ways. First, as a small business owner. So the first 10 years of my career, I spent at a medical school, teaching, doing research, but working for somebody, and I was an employee. But I did research, I built my research career, and I know how to evaluate the science. I know when data that we're working on is high quality or low quality, and I'm able to say, no, we should listen to this approach versus that approach. After that, I went into private practice. I now run my medical practice. So I am a small business owner. I know what it's like to create jobs. I know what it's like to have your business slow down because of certain factors, and how having to try to be creative to keep yourself afloat and also not have to lay off some of your employees. So how do I integrate those as a physician? Because everything that I do in medicine has to be evidence-based. And I say, okay, you come in with a pneumonia and I'm going to treat you with this antibiotic instead of that antibiotic because that's what the data says. So whenever I say something, I never say, this is my opinion. I say, the science supports this. So when I have an opinion on something, or when I have a stance, a position on something, it's because not this is how I think, but this is what the experience, the data shows, the science shows. And if I don't have a very compelling, if I don't have compelling data behind me, then I will be more open-minded, for example, with my stance and saying, okay, let's be creative about the different kinds of solutions that we can do. So I think the two biggest advantages that my background gives is, number one, I am a small business owner who knows what it's like to create jobs and has to survive in a changing business climate. But also number two, because I use data and evidence every day in what I do, I'm able to say, okay, these are what the facts say, this is what we should do, versus we have no data, let's be creative, let's be open-minded, let's talk about it and come to consensus.
Yeah. Alex, and can you help me to understand one thing? How politics came into your life? So you're a small business owner, you're a doctor, and tell me about that day, or tell me about that moment, or tell me about this experience that maybe pushed you into the politics. Do you remember that moment?
It's never been a moment. I've been a big nerd. I love history.
Okay.
I love languages. I have my favorite president, Theodore Roosevelt, and there would always be times where I'd read in history books about different conflicts and how when one person did this, that's how the conflict ended up, getting worse. So I always think, what would I have done if I was there? How would I have solved this problem? And I've always been very engaged and involved with elections. I know who the candidates are. Whenever there are ballot propositions, I know what the propositions are. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I never hung out with the cool kids. I never went out on Friday nights. I just read a lot and I was a nerd. So I've always been very engaged. And being the nerd, solving word problems in math, if there was a problem, like, there's this conflict on the other side of the world, I would say, how would I have solved it? And then just out of a combination of things, with my private practice, I hired all the people that I needed to hire so I could kind of take a step back, and my schedule lightened as soon as that happened. And I said, okay, I have more time to travel, to have fun. Suddenly this seat opened up, and the seat has not been open for 22 years. So Adam Schiff has been there for 22 years. When there is an incumbent, it's very difficult to win that seat. But when it's an open seat, it's anybody's game. So I said, okay, I've always been engaged and involved. This is an opportunity that hasn't come up for 22 years. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, my schedule's open, let's do this, and we did. And I had to persuade my husband to get into it, and he's been understanding, but also very, you know, part of that team that I was talking about that made me a success. He's been a big part of it as well.
Is he supportive?
He's not just supportive, he is...
He's a part of a team, I get it, but I imagine, for example, telling to my husband, because one of my dreams, I want to become the president of Ukraine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And I wonder how would my husband react to it, you know, because it's a huge role, it's a huge responsibility. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and my question is like, was he supportive? Yes, he is in your campaign, which is amazing, and yeah, but he won't see you at home. You're a doctor, and plus you will be, you know, a congressman.
Yeah. I think the
I know, is it too personal?
No,
I'm
it's not personal. The reason he was so there were two reasons he was supportive in the beginning. Number one, he does marketing.
Okay.
He works in the music industry, but he makes things look pretty and brands and things, and he sells things. So in this case, he saw how the engagement on social media was just unbelievable, and he says, I've never seen any engagement build like this. So for him, it was a challenge to sell a candidate, me. Okay, that's one reason why he was supportive. Another reason why he was supportive is he didn't think we were going to be successful.
No.
He didn't think we were going to get this far.
Okay.
He thought we're just going to do this for a few months. The primary election, we're going to lose. Haha, great, Alex, you tried it. Let's move on. No. We made it to the next election, and it's just been building and building and building. So
and I believe in you so much, Alex.
he underestimated how successful we would be. So that's why he was so supportive in the beginning.
Yes, I'm manifesting because I want you to be elected. By the way, do you believe in the power of the universe and that it wasn't a coincidence that there were like no seat for 22 years and then you don't?
So I'm a science person, right?
Okay.
I'm very linear in my thinking.
Okay.
Cause, effect, you know,
Okay,
A, B, C, X, Y, Z. My husband is very interested in astrology.
Oh, I love astrology.
And he was, you could, he'll talk to you for hours about it. But then he looked at my chart, and then he had somebody do a reading, and this person said, oh, November's going to be a very big month for him. And so there were these. Now you're speaking my language, Alex. So there were these.
I even lost my notes. You know why? Because the universe doesn't want me to have the notes. The universe wants me to trust the universe.
there were these signs that he saw, and he said, "This might actually happen." So these kinds of things that I have no clue about, but he reads, and he's again, it's more interesting for me. He's like, "Let's see what happens with this."
I love it. That's amazing that you have such a supportive husband and who is also so spiritual. He can what?
He can sit down after me and you can interview him
if
you'd
please.
like.
We'll talk about astrology. All right. So the next question is, are you like frustrated with the system that we have right now?
Absolutely.
Yes. We are mad.
Yes.
You know what I like? I'm sorry for interrupting you. Like, let the anger motivate you. You know, so many angry people around us. Yeah, but I'm always saying to them, like, let it motivate you.
Right.
Like, what are you angry at? You're angry that this glass is uncomfortable? Okay, change it.
Right.
You know
so
what I mean?
we have
random example.
You're absolutely right, because what we're finding is a lot of people are angry, but when you say to them, okay, we need to do this, we need to collect signatures, we need to put this on the ballot, people don't follow through. And I don't know what to do about that, right? Because I can't force them to do anything, and I can't do my job as an elected official unless people do their job first, which is why I'm trying to appeal to people, as you know, I'm talking to you, the people watching at home, and again, immigrants. So I was raised in an Armenian immigrant family, so Armenian immigrants, Russian immigrants, Ukrainian immigrants, Korean immigrants, Mexican immigrants, people tend to suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't do my job unless those people who are angry do their job. But I believe that a government should focus on public safety, public health, public wealth, in that order. Okay? Public safety, keep us safe. It's not normal, it's not healthy for us always to be afraid. Am I going to get attacked? What's going to happen? Okay,
because everywhere we go, you know, even when you go to, I don't know, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, it's only about like downtown or LA and Skid Row. I feel so unsafe at the parking lot, like everywhere, daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter.
Right. And so public safety, it's not healthy for you always to be under stress, always to be worried. And you cannot grow your family, you cannot grow your business if you're constantly worried about being attacked. So public safety first and foremost. And then public health, okay? When I say public health, not just access to insurance, but healthy foods, right? We have in this country so many processed foods, so many, you know, ingredients that are banned in the EU. So things that I would like to do in Congress, for example, are try to incentivize farmers to grow, you know, instead of growing genetically modified soybeans, make it easy and cheap for them to grow organic, non-GMO foods, so that when we eat them, we're healthy, and we don't have to take cholesterol medicines. We don't have to take blood pressure medicines. So public safety, public health, and public wealth. Public wealth, don't give people money. Make it easy for them to start a business. Make it easy for them to be creative and innovative. Don't create the jobs for them. Have them create the jobs for their neighbors, right? Just like me, how I run my business, and if anything happens, I can be very creative to pivot. But everybody's frustrated because those basic things that our government should do for its own people, public safety, public health, public wealth, we're not doing, our government's not doing, and it's definitely not doing it efficiently. They're taxing us. We pay more for everything. We're asked to do more. You're such a bad person. You're ruining the environment. You should pay $2 more for your gasoline, like those kinds of things, and we're sick of it.
And we're in a constant worry. Like we do not leave, you know, leave, like capital letters and the word leave, that we experience the beauty of life in safety and prosperity.
You don't recognize the everyday beauty that's there because you're just worried about protecting yourself.
Yes. And last but not least, if not elected, God forbid, what is next?
So I tell people, if I'm not elected, this second full-time unpaid political job that I've been doing for the last year and a half goes away, and I have more time, and I have more sleep, and I have more, more peace of mind. So if I don't get elected, my life becomes easier. So this is what I want to tell people. I'm not doing this because it's going to benefit me. I'm doing this because I've had enough. I've seen that many other people around me have had enough. But I am fortunate that I have the energy, I have the background that I can do this efficiently. A lot of people, for example, they don't do this because they're scared of getting canceled. I've been called a Nazi, a fascist, a homophobe.
Are you for real now?
Yeah, I've been called a homophobe. I'm not a homophobe, neither is my husband, right? Like, I've been called an extremist, everything. Why?
And you see, it's coming from an unhappy place because people are unhappy. They are angry, unhappy, because if I'm happy with myself, if I feel safe and happy, I have no reason to attack you or not to love you and not to respect you. And that's what we want to change, right? The mental health.
But it's also the politicians, right? My opponent, she just sent out an email calling me an extremist. Why is she calling me an extremist? I say the laws that you've passed have made us unsafe. The laws that you have passed and voted for have made our daily lives more expensive. The laws that you have passed and voted for have taken lanes of traffic away. Were you driving on Hollywood or West Hollywood where they had bike lanes? They took away the parking, right? So I tell her, the things that you've done, the votes that you've taken, the actions that you've done have made our lives unsafe and expensive. I'm not attacking her as a person. I don't know her as a person. But what I say is, things that you've done in the past have not made our lives better. You've been in charge of California for the last 10 years. Homelessness has gotten worse. Crime has gotten worse. Cost of living has gotten worse. Everything's gotten worse. She has nothing on me because I have all my great policies. So what does she do? She attacks me personally, calls me an extremist. But I don't care. I can't get canceled. I'm a doctor, right? But other people who are afraid to do it, that is why they're afraid to do it, because their own elected officials attack them and call them extremists. That's not what this country stands for.
Exactly. Yes. And you know what? Oftentimes, what people are saying to other people, it's what they think of themselves.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm a believer in that.
I truly hope that you will be elected.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time. I know that you believe in science, but I believe in science and spirituality, and I love your aura so much. I feel so safe and so amazing in your presence.
Thank you.
Honestly, I was worried so much driving here, but when I saw you and I had this eye contact with you, I felt at peace. So thank you so much,
Of course,
Alex,
my
for
pleasure.
for your beautiful aura, for your beautiful policies. I truly hope that a person like you will be elected, because we need Alex Balekian. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Eugeniia. I
much.
appreciate it.
And you pronounce my name so beautifully. Thank you, Alex.
Of course.
Thank you.